Welcome back to RetroDuck. Now if like me you live in the UK, you might be asking yourself now, what the hell is a Virtual Boy? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you. So, Virtual Boy, console launched by Nintendo in 1995. It only came out in Japan and America, and it was a stopgap for them between the SNES and the N64. It was actually at the time their most powerful console. It was a 32-bit RISC processor, and it was meant to give virtual reality. Now, it didn't quite pull that off. It was only monochrome red and black, but it does give a really good 3D effect. Sales-wise, the console was a failure. Nintendo only sold 770,000 consoles worldwide during its lifetime. However, it has now got a bit of a cult following, and personally, I've always been into 3D tech, and so I just had to have one of these in my collection. Now, because the console was not particularly successful, a complete collection is actually pretty easy to get. There are only 22 titles in total between America and Japan. Each area had its own exclusive releases. I believe America then therefore only has 14 titles, whereas Japan has 19, but I said 22 across the two. However, there is a really active homebrew community, so there is a lot of homebrew games, and to play those you can get something called a Flash Boy. A Flash Boy is a Virtual Boy cartridge that you can load a ROM onto and play on your original Virtual Boy. And there are also Virtual Boy emulators, but of course they don't give you that wonderful 3D effect. My console is from Japan. It is, without bragging, mint. I made sure I got a really nice boxed example. Because it is a collector's piece for me, I will play it, but I wanted to make sure I got the best condition one I could. I've also got a number of Japanese games, which I'll go through with you in a little while. Again, these are all complete in box. You'll also see up here, I have a boxed tap. So a tap allows you to run the console off a mains adapter rather than batteries. Excuse the origami bird, that came with my Virtual Boy. I also have a boxed pair of Virtual Boy headphones. There's nothing special about them other than the earbuds are red, but they're boxed, they're nice, and it kind of just goes nicely with the collection. I've then also got here some DS cases which have custom printed artwork for Virtual Boy games, and then inside you can make up these foam inserts to hold them in place. So you might be wondering why I've bothered to do that when I've got boxed games, and it's very simply, the boxes are cardboard like a Game Boy box. I don't want to ruin my boxes, I want to keep them nice, so they're all in box protectors and the cartridges are in these cases. I've also got more DS cases made up than I have cartridges at the moment, simply because when I was making them I wanted to make sure that I'd got everything done, ready, rather than having to make them again as and when I buy more games. So, I'll give you a quick tour of the console itself. Okay, so we'll start with the controller. And I have to say, this is actually one of my favourite controllers. It's got two D-pads, which is a bit odd, but for the time, analog sticks weren't a thing yet, so it was quite nice. And then it's got the two sets of buttons, and the console's on-off switch. Also on the back, you've got two triggers. Now here is where either the battery pack or a tap goes to allow you to use the mains adapter. And then the lead plugs into the underside of the console, and this actually therefore powers the console itself. So this is my Virtual Boy console, and just starting on the top here we have these two adjustments. The IPD, or I think it's interpupil distance, so it's the distance between your eyes, and also then a focus slider. So when you play the Virtual Boy you have to obviously tailor those settings to suit you, and they help reduce motion sickness and headaches that some people get. So the Virtual Boy also comes with this stand, and it's quite common for this piece of plastic here called the medallion to crack and break. And just bring that in a bit. No. Oh, there we go. So you can see mine is nice and mint, and this is part of the reason I went for went for this particular one. On the underside of the console, you have the volume and headphones, and then on the other side your controller socket, and also this socket which was meant for a link cable that never actually came out. Now you can now buy third-party link cables which work with some of the homebrew games. Unfortunately, none of the officially released games work with the link cable because that functionality never got released. However, there is some patched versions of the games which were meant to have two-player that you can now play with a link cable. And then moving around to the back, we have this eye shade. These so often are in really nasty condition. If you are going to get a Virtual Boy, at the very least you want to clean that when they arrive, if yours isn't nice. You can get replacements though, again fairly cheaply, so it's worth doing that. And then you look through these red tinted eyepieces, and that is where you see your game. Now, one of the common complaints I've seen about the Virtual Boy is it's not portable like it was sold as, and I've got to agree, it's really not. But also, you know, how do you get comfortable playing it? And again, I kind of see where they're coming from. I found the best way is to put it on a computer desk and sit at it like that. Others have found lying on their back and balancing it on their face works. Not sure I want to try that one, but you know, once you've got into it, once you've got comfortable, it is really worth it because it is such a nice 3D effect. I wish I could show you in this video how good the 3D effect is, but obviously that won't work. So now I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the games that I have bought so far.
First up is Space Squash. This is more really like space 3D Pong with spaceship robots hitting a mine back and forth between them, and so when you get the mine past your opponent or hit your opponent with it enough times, it explodes and you win a point. First to 3 points wins the round. Next up is a Virtual Boy version of Wario Land, and this is actually a really good version of a Wario game, probably one of my favourites on the system so far. Next is Panic Bomber, or as I've got a Japanese version, as all mine are Japanese versions, Toady Base Panic Bomber. And it's a puzzle game rather than an out-and-out Bomberman game. Tellero Boxer, fantastic little boxing game. It's probably one of the few, and probably actually possibly only game that gives you true sort of attempt at virtual reality. Okay, so next is Virtual League Baseball. It's a 3D baseball game, not much more really to say about that. And same goes really for TNE Golf, which is just a 3D golf game. Next up is the first Mario title that I've got for the system, and this came generally as a pack-in with the Virtual Boy. That is Mario Tennis. It's actually quite a good version of Mario Tennis, and being 3D, it gives you a different perspective to most tennis games. V-Tetris was the Japanese release of Tetris. America got a different version. They got a 3D Tetris, which unfortunately is not a nicer game to play, but this is just a good version of Tetris. And then lastly that I've got at the moment is Galactic Pinball, and again, bit of 3D effect. It gives a real nice version of a computer pinball game. So at the time of recording this, I have got 3 other games which just haven't arrived from Japan yet. They are Vertical Force, Red Alarm, and Mario Clash. So I'll show you more about those games as and when I've actually got them.
So the Virtual Boy then is a real Nintendo oddity, especially here in the UK. Should you buy it for your gaming collection? Well, that's something you can only really answer for yourself. If you're watching this video going, that looks fantastic, I need one of those in my life, then the answer is probably yes. If you're watching this video going, well, you know, what's so special about it, I don't get it, it's bad 3D, it's poor graphics, then probably not for you. It's one of those things that if it really appeals to you and you can afford it, then I'd say definitely it is worth, you know, getting in your collection. And now that does bring me to an important point. Virtual Boys, especially getting them here in the UK, are not cheap. They're collectible around the globe. Getting one in good condition is potentially a very expensive thing. There are also some common failures which, again, it's going to cost you money then to get those fixed. They are all fixable, but you're going to have to ship it back outside of the UK to get those things done. For me though, my collection wouldn't be complete without it. I really love it, and so I'm glad I've got one, and I'm going to do some more videos on this in the future with some reviews of some of the games that are available to play. If you have any questions on the Virtual Boy or would like to know more, leave a comment and I will address those in future videos for you. But for now, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to hit that subscribe button for notifications of our future videos as and when they come out.